Nice.
How's it going, LA?
Good over here, buddy. How are you guys doing? Hi, Ben.
Hey, Ben.
Hello. Hello from my kitchen.
Yes.
I feel like I'm intruding on something.
No, we're glad you're here. Thanks for doing it. And
I'm
hi,
very
everyone who's on the YouTubes watching right now. There it is. We're learning as we're going, so let's do this. What do you guys feel like talking about?
Well, you guys have a new record coming out. Why don't I steer you in that direction?
That would be great.
Really good. Like, it's really good. And it's been a bit of a time, or a bit of an interval of time since the last Elliott record. So tell me about the circumstances that like gave birth to this one.
There's a lot of things. Do you want to take it, Kate? Do you want to go first there? I thought you wanted to say something. So
I don't have the answer to that particular question, but I can wing it. No, it's again, it's like, we've been making records now for, it's crazy, like 18, 19 years, which is nuts. I think I did an interview with someone who wasn't born when our first record was being recorded. So that was kind of neat. It's weird. So yeah, it's just I think a continuation of hopefully like good storytelling and interesting stories. And so far today with all, it came out this morning, and so far it's been positive. People seem to be receiving it well and enjoying it. So it's been great so far.
yeah.
Well, I think, like, guys, this is, sorry to cut in, but like the lyrically, I feel like it, as the band has matured, you've matured as, aesthetically too. This is a kind of an adult record, not in the, adult sense, but this is like a grown-up record by Elliott, right?
Totally. The one thing that I was thinking about, only because we were doing interviews and all that stuff, and you start to think about and break down what you've been working on. I think we've kind of flipped the script on how we actually write, or I write anyways. It's just like I used to actually have characters and give them emotions, and now it's like you're older and more confident with your emotions, and now you take those emotions and then put them into characters as opposed to the other way around. It's just like, I don't know, more open that way, I guess, for myself anyways.
Yeah, I'm definitely more interested in myself these days. I'm kind of learning to love myself, Ben. Learning to appreciate myself. But yeah, I think it is. I think it's been happening. Even with the last one, they're becoming a little more personal on certain tracks. Anyways, I think we still throw in like that sort of historical third-person context a lot because that's what we like to do as well. But it's I guess we don't shy away from that sort of personal kind of our own stories a little bit now that we have some actual stories to tell. I don't think you have much to say when you're 20. I don't know. Maybe you do. I don't. I didn't.
I think you do.
About myself. I had nothing to really talk about. Now that you've got a life behind you, there's a little more experience goes in there. So maybe you have a right to talk about it a little bit more. Maybe.
Well, when did you guys convene to do this? I mean, like if you've been sitting on this for a while. Obviously, there's a pandemic. Some of us are wearing masks right now. That's derailed every musician's career.
Luckily, we had it done for the.
When did you guys track this, and what was the original plan? I guess to put
it was like in the can by February. We were ready to release it, I think, by June or July.
May. It was supposed to come out in May.
May.
But when we first started recording it, actually 2 songs kind of were floating around for a while, and they just didn't find a home on the last record. Like was it Month of Sundays and The Coast were they were just kind of in their infancy, so they really weren't actually like hashed out fully. And so those were the first 2 that we started on, and that was years ago. Some of your songs kind of float along for a while before they actually get taken for put on records. But I think 2 years ago we probably started in earnest. Okay, maybe something like that.
When was the last? Like, how long has it been between records? I mean, if I'd done my research and hadn't just
3-year. It's always a 3-year window for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, conceptually, a lot of them are sitting in the background for a long time, but we really got more serious probably a year ago. And luckily just finished it quite literally before I came back out here. I got out to LA 3 days before this whole state shut down. So everything was in, and then this all happened. So I'm glad we just got it finished in time, mastered and everything else. So yeah, we took our time with it.
Does that help with, I mean, now that you've been decamped to the States, you're not on fire, thank God. But
no,
we're good. I mean, when you guys reconvene now to work on stuff, is it way more intense? Like, how is that kind of songwriting dynamic and just the performance dynamic changed? Now that one of you is on the other
Yeah,
side.
we're going to test it out. I mean, this is sort of how we write a little bit separately anyways at the beginning. And once, you know, if you hear an Elliott BROOD record, it's been touched by the three of us in some way. Like I'll start a sketch, Mark will start a sketch. So actually this isn't that crazy. We can send it with all the tech that's happening now. I mean, we can send those early sketches to each other. By no means would we ever record a record like this. We have to be in a room for sure, but we can get ideas to each other pretty easily now, right? So it's like, we'll be okay with that for now. And I can travel. As soon as I get some paperwork figured out, I'll be back, essentially. So.
The weird thing, though, about all of this is right when COVID hit, it's like that's when we needed, like, it's like, oh, well, you have to have your shot, the photos of the band. We need photos. We're like, oh, nobody can take shots of ourselves. So we actually forced ourselves. We took selfies and then blended them together just to give ourselves some, it's like some publicity photos, which is
well, yeah, like all of us, any musician right now is learning every other sort of technical thing you can learn, whether it's editing video or you know, everything. You have to do all these other stuff anyway. So hopefully you come out of it with other skills that are helpful or whatever, right? So it's like, because you can't tour right now, that's not happening. So there's
no, I mean, I feel for anyone in your position. It's also that I think at the beginning of this, there was a mentality for a bit where it was like, you know, we'll sit on the record, we won't release it now, or we'll sit on the movie, we won't release it now. But as time has gone on, it's like, you know what, people are home and they probably would like to listen to music. And I think probably the smartest thing to do is just get it out there, right?
I think so. And we've had really supportive, like, bunch of fans over this whole time. Like that, the Bandcamp Fridays have been huge for us. Very, you know, people are buying stuff and trying to support us as much as they can. And everyone's in trouble. It's not just musicians, but we're definitely, you know, it's going to be a while before things get back to normal for us. But within our camp, people have been super supportive of us during that. So like, you know, we'll release this one now and the next record will come out when this is all done. I hope, you know, hopefully this ends. It will. Trump promised. So.
Yeah, that's right. There's a surprise coming before.
Yeah, he's got it. He's got this.
But I mean, you're such a live, like it live is the way Elliott BROOD does it. Like it must be weird not to be heading out on the road and doing what you do because you're so good at it. Again, I'm not.
Strangely enough, right now we were supposed to be like in New Orleans or something, so that probably would have been canceled anyways because there's a hurricane or whatever. Like we were down in that area was where the tour with this Dead South was happening right around now. So who knows? That might have been done anyways. So we're getting hit on all sides. Maybe the pandemic wouldn't have mattered right now. So
maybe God is angry at.
Yeah, he's just mad. Once he hears this record though, things will start turning around.
Let's talk about the record. Did you have like a kind of a grand overarching design in mind for it? Did you have a plan going in, guys? Was there, or was it just like you know, we got all these songs, we should do something with it?
I don't know. I think it's not super planned, I guess. I don't know. What do you think over there, boys?
I think when, you know, once Casey had Stay Out, like that for me, that was the song that I was like, I thought The Coast was actually really good. And then when I heard Stay Out, I was like, it's just such a visceral emotion. It just brings so many emotions to the forefront. It's just like, maybe that brought out songs in us as well. You know what I mean? I think that one was so honest for me that kind of maybe opened it up for everything. I think for me anyways, when I heard Stay Out, that was like, I'm like, okay, this is a great tune.
Yeah, and they sort of funneled together, you know, we had a whole bunch of songs and, you know, you just funnel them down to a common theme and, you know, that's sort of where it ended up.
Yeah, and we took advantage of the space those guys are in. We have a little space in Hamilton where we can go, we would work every day. It was essentially like I wouldn't say a 9 to 5, but like a noon to 6, whatever it is, a little later. Actually, we're there kind of early in the mornings, to be honest.
We're there early. It's called The Office, really.
Yeah.
That's what I call it in my head because we come here, you drop off your kids at school, then you come here for about 9:30, 10, chat for about 45 minutes, get to work, and then 2:30, almost 3 o'clock, you got to go home, grab your kids, and then start the next day.
It was great. I mean, that we have this place, it's offered us such an opportunity to actually treat music like a job, like a real business.
God forbid.
Yeah,
but it's one where you
the
can
funnest job.
Where you can walk in and you can just feel as though you can create at any time. Like if anybody wants to come in at like 10 at night, you can kind of still come and practice and do your thing, and that has kind of been freeing for us, for me, anyways, as well. So.
Totally.
It's funny you bring up like the idea of like I'm fairly new to the parenting game. It's like I'm three and a half years in, but the record again when I'm talking about like the honesty of like play like the kind of family dynamics and interpersonal dynamics. I like this
And it's, I mean, we're pretty honest about that kind of stuff. Like my back hurts all the time. It just hurts all the time. So it's like, we're not going to do I don't know what that guy's doing or what he's on. Everyone like talks about Keith Richards, but Mick Jagger's the one running around. I don't know what that guy's doing.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think like it's becoming a parent is a huge deal, as you well know. It's just like that. And there's a lot of people out there that get that and will listen to this record and hopefully like get what that means and that sort of, and any sort of family relationship. Like I said earlier, the longer you're in them, the older you get, the more of those stories are relevant and mean something and are deeper. And, I think a lot of, I don't know, when I was young, I didn't think about this stuff, but we're now crossing the mid-level, mid-range of, so you think about all this stuff right now. You worry about your kids, you worry about your future, all that stuff. So I think other people do.
First.
Yeah, you got there first for sure. Yeah, I'm the last one getting over the halfway mark, but
it's one of the things. I mean, obviously, yes, we finished the record right as the pandemic hit, but it's like I think this record for us is like we kind of were thinking about. You're thinking more about family all the way along now, much like you were saying, Ben. It's just like we're getting to the point, like. That's the things that that's the thing that you want to be better yourself for, be around for, you know what I mean? Be engaged with your kids, try to be the best person you can be. And I think that thinking about those things have kind of changed the way I kind of view songwriting for myself. And I think Casey as well, you know what I mean? Like the songs that he's writing are, pretty special that way.
I think it's cool too. You guys, I don't know anybody who sounds quite like Elliott BROOD, and in the beginning there wasn't. I mean, you guys kind of arrived fully formed. Like you had your own thing going on, but I feel like there's a definite sound that's evolved over the course of the records, and it's this almost a tension between kind of small scale rustic stuff and big room rock and roll, and I feel like you've honed in on a real thing that's your own thing, and that must it must feel good to know that you've found your own voice after all this time, right?
Yeah, I think there's always like a new thing to we did the residency out in Calgary at a synth museum, right? Like Steve got us this 1 week residency out with all these vintage synth machines, so that directed us a little. That's a completely different way of looking at everything. I know it got to me for sure. I mean, you listen to the Coast, there's synths all over that now, and that kind of stuff. But I think we're always rooted in. Not the lack of traditional musical education for Mark and myself, maybe, and just so it always goes back to acoustic guitar and simple 3-4 chord songs. They're always in there, and the rest is like let's surround. Like Steve's our Garth Hudson, basically. He's the guy who's like, okay, we got to do, let's make this bigger and let's orchestrate this. He can do that for us. I think we back down to like very simple sort of songs for the most part. They can be brought right back down. So yeah, that's never going anywhere. I don't think. I don't want to get too crazy. So. I don't want to speak for you, Mark, but I know that my musical education is like lower.
No, when we were at the NMC, it was like instantly you touch the Mellotron and you're like, I want to create a whole record. I just want to do a record of like instrumental Mellotron songs. Like it was just like we were like writing and just like obviously. I mean, maybe next year or maybe this year we'll do that. But I mean, like
the box set. Save it for the box set.
I can see we have our friends in Shred Kelly here. They're on our little blog, and they're new parents too, so they're going through the same thing. Hello, boys and girls. Thanks for watching.
But those are the things that you kind of they filter in. They did like "Oh Me" has Mellotron in it. There's like synths in the Coast, stuff like that, where it actually where it fits, we put it in, and if it doesn't fit, we don't put it in there or take it out. So
we should probably listen.
Right?
You need to listen to some of this music yet, or what do we got to do? Should we listen to it? Or are we good for time?
I feel like we should listen to some music so people know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Hey, you have an idea, though, that you want to put to everybody.
Oh, yeah. Quickly, we're going to talk about a little idea we're doing because we can't tour, but we want to like talk to you guys a little bit more. We're going to do like a little, I don't know if we told you about this, Ben, but we're starting this thing. It's like a book club for music, a little music criticism club. It's a class we're starting, and it's called Acronym. You can see it here. And it's came up with a really simple name for it. It's
It's actually quite complicated.
Yeah. Analytical criticism regarding objectively narrowing your music. And what we're going to help you do, we're going to do like, we'll post a playlist probably on Spotify a week ahead of this. It's like a book club. Everyone wants to do this can go listen to this playlist. These are songs we're suggesting need to stay on our touring playlist, which we'll listen to in the van before shows. Yeah. Categories like pump up songs before shows, drinking songs, party songs, whatever. This is all the details are being hammered out right now. But it's going to be a club, and then we can all join together in a situation like this, discuss the music, criticize each other, and then we'll pick songs and eliminate songs.
Yeah, we don't criticize the music. We only criticize each other.
Right. Totally.
That seems so healthy.
Yeah, exactly. We criticize each other's choices. But yeah, so look out. If just check our socials, all of them, what do we got? We got all the socials.
Yeah, but you can start exactly. You can start by subscribing now, and then we'll.
That's right. There's like a telethon too, right? Yeah, subscribe to our YouTube page. And we'll host it on YouTube. It's going to be super fun, really chilled out. Like we'll figure out all the details, but just sort of stay tuned for that. But for now, let's listen to our record. We should start before it gets too late.
Okay, so what is it? The first one was Bird Dog. Does anybody have to say anything about Bird Dog?
Bird Dog.
Well, it was a contender for the album title for a while.
It was. That's true. Yeah, but Keeper took over.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Great song about a chase.
It is.
It's a big one though. I would think, being somewhat obsessive myself, when you have to pick the first track on your record, it's a long discussion, right?
Yeah.
It was. You know what? Casey pushed for it. I didn't think Bird Dog should be off the top. I was actually pushing more for like Stay Out or something else.
Mm-hmm. I wanted it because the banjo intro reminds me of our first record. The first song on our first record is a very similar sort of banjo. So I was like, we got to have banjo starting this whole thing off. That was in my mind anyways.
Yeah, this one was fun to write, actually. It went through a whole bunch of different iterations and ideas. We kind of like mulled it over. But the one thing that was the hardest for me for this was the beginning. The first couple of verses came really easy and quick. And I could, for the life of me, not figure out the last verse. Because there's no choruses. There's no, it's not back and forth or anything like that. So it was the hardest bit, but I actually pushed it until like the last day of recording. And I was just like, I know what I want to say kind of visually. I'm just going to go for it. And then it just kind of turned out how it is. So do you want to listen to that one? You want to listen to that one now? Okay. Bird Dog. Bird Dog.
With son of a gun, we got him on the run. This time was more than that. Bring me to justice now.
All right. First track is in the books on the listening party. That's Bird Dog.
Yeah.
Technically the title track. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mixed by
Sylvia Massey. We got to work with some awesome people on this record. Sylvia did that track and another one later on that you'll hear. She was incredible. It was amazing. That book that Mark was just holding up is one of the, I don't know, it's one of my favorite books about music, just in the
Recording
production.
unhinged.
Recording, yeah.
All
Just
these
her way, yeah.
crazy ways of recording and whatnot.
if you
She's-
want, go check her out on YouTube. She's awesome to follow, awesome to watch. She's so interesting in what she does.
And she produced and engineered the first two Tool records, which to me is enough. When I tell people where I'm from that that's a thing, that's enough for everyone. So, yeah, she did that song for us, which really made it brighter and twangier and a little more psychedelic than what we had it at. And we also got to work with Ryan Hadlock, who probably most famously works with the Lumineers, Strumbellas, I think he did. But he did this next track, which was the first track we released, whatever it was, a few months ago. How long has it been out now?
June.
A while, yeah.
June.
So, yeah, he was great. And one of the more interesting financial transactions ever. We're not getting into the details of how we paid him for the work, but that was pretty awesome. When we were on tour with the Dead South, it was essentially one of the funniest transactions ever done. And he did a great job on the song. And really, we also had Daryl Newdorf, who I just saw, is on our chat. Hi, Daryl.
Oh, nice.
He got it right. We spent a weekend with him, maybe more than that. Was it 4
5
days?
days.
I don't remember. Yeah.
5 days.
Out on his farm, and helped us get a lot of these songs right to the end there. So we love him for that and thank him very much. But yeah, so now we'll just move quickly to we've been talking a lot. We'll move into the second track, Stay Out. So let's hit that one.
I do believe that I've had enough, but I don't want to go home. I'm out of time and I'm out of luck, and I don't want to go home, and I can't go home. This is gone in the blink of an eye, and I can't go home. I'll be left wondering why, and I can't go home. Wanna stay out a little while. It's the end of the road. It's the end of the old road. It's the end of the line, and it's time that I let it go. And the seasons change, everything gets rearranged. But tonight I'm stuck in a yesterday. I got healthy kids and a beautiful wife, but I don't wanna go home. I'm proud and thankful and terrified, and I don't wanna go home, and I can't go home. This is gone in the blink of an eye, and I can't go home. I'll be left wondering why, and I can't go home. Wanna stay out a little while. It's the end of the road. It's the end of the old road. It's the end of the line, and it's time that I let it go. And the seasons change, everything gets rearranged. But tonight I'm stuck in a yesterday. And this is gone in the blink of an eye, and I can't go home. I'll be left wondering why, and I can't go home. This is gone in the blink of an eye, and I can't go home. I'll be left wondering why, and I can't go home. This is gone in the blink of an eye, and I can't go home. I wanna stay out a little while. No, I can't go home. Can I stay out a little while?
So there you go. That was Stay Out,
Yeah.
which you've probably heard a lot already if you're here. So, that's not new to you right now. But yeah, that was Ryan Hadlock helped mix that. And I had my daughter draw a picture of Ryan. There it is.
He's
That's
the
him.
small one.
Yeah, she didn't. She had no real reference. She just listened to the song, and this is what she thinks he might look like doing it. I'm not sure if that's Sylvia or what. I'll ask her.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe as an assistant. That's probably an assistant.
I like it.
Yeah. So that's track 2. We're on to 3.
Track 3, No Way Out. I think my favorite part in this song is Casey's double solo midway through.
Solo. I always find that funny. I don't know if it's just more like a few notes. But yes, this is we do it. It's an extender.
Yeah.
But this one, I love this song. This is one of my favorites because it's so sort of different, I think, for us. It's still in the same world, but it's like, this is right out of where, you and I come from for sure. As that not that it's Motown, but that era of music.
Exactly. I mean, growing up as a kid, that was my huge love. Like, I kind of skipped the 80s. Everybody was into Depeche Mode and everything else like that. And I kind of went backwards in time and kind of.
I dove so hard into the 80s, baby. So hard. Cobra Kai on Netflix. It's your next thing to watch. There you go.
I just meant music-wise. But yeah, No Way Out. It's a 1950s kind of feel tune that it's great. But it actually, a lot of it has to do with the fires in California, like metaphorically and literally. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's
like that one? Or you want to say a bit more about it or anything?
No, I think it's no, let's play it. This is, I guess, the only other thing I wanted to say is the guitar I got to play on this. That's where I bought that pawn shop guitar, and it ended up being the guitar sound of this one, which is great. No, it's all good. It's funny how that works out. Sometimes you just buy a piece of junk and it turns into something that becomes the one thing that sounds right for a song. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's play it. It's called which one out is this?
No Way Out.
Right. There's a lot of outs.
There is a lot of outs. Yeah. Okay, let's play No Way Out.
All right.
Do it.
A sickness in my bones. Can't see your way out now. Fires all around tonight. Oh tonight. Oh tonight. Oh tonight. Keep running off the so many times before. It's still hard to leave when you can't find the door. Too lie to myself. Oh, to lie. Tell it to myself. Can I run these fires? They're all around me now. Tonight.
Okay, what were you saying? What were you saying about the end of that?
If anyone remembers, and I'm sure I can see a lot of people here that are probably old enough to remember the Green Forest that I think was on TVO. The end, I think I ripped off the melody from the theme song of that show for that little end part. I've been realizing it now for a few months that I think I stole it from the stories you've read about all come to life. If you know what it is. If you don't, then don't worry about it. It's all ours. We can move on to the next song for now.
So the next song is yeah. Let's quickly move on so we don't get sued.
Yeah, we don't want to get sued.
A Month of Sundays is the next song. What do you want to say about that one, Kat?
This one, you know that I didn't really like this song at first. I liked it, but I was like, I didn't. And then it really came together. Now, when I listen to it, you guys were right. It's absolutely an awesome track. It was just for some reason I wasn't fully on board with it. We did end up getting our ace in the hole and many aces in the hole. Aaron Goldie Goldstein got to play on this one, which really he can really, he does no wrong. I also have a photo of Goldstein as well. That's it.
Nice.
In case you want to know. So
Exactly.
this guy played steel on these. He's done 4 tracks. You've seen him play with everyone who matters.
Those
He's amazing.
veins, is that a watermelon arm or veins?
I think these are the strings of the pedal steel. She's a sort of like an interpretive artist in a way.
Nice.
But yeah, so he came in and as he always does, just makes everything even better than it was. But yeah, if you want to talk about the story of the song quickly, that'd be probably good.
Well, even more so like when we first started writing it, like when we were in Caslow, when we were we had rented that cabin for 3
Yeah,
days.
it was incredible.
We were just kind of sitting out front, and then you kind of just had that little lick, and then it was just like, oh my god, and it just like, I don't know. And the whole thing is like, in all fairness, the very first line is an homage to John Prine, because it's just like, what's the song? In Spite of Ourselves. It has the line, ain't seen you in a month of Sundays.
See, I still never fully understood. Is a month of Sundays like 30 Sundays? That's what if you dig, is a month of Sundays 30 of them? Or is it one month?
Now we're letting people in on our real world because this was a full day conversation.
Yeah, that's why it took so long for this record to come out. We had to figure out what that meant first, and then we were good.
But we still haven't figured it out. So if you guys online, if anybody knows, because we never went on Google to figure it out, because with our arguments, you're not allowed to go to Google and find out the information. You kind of have to know it. So anyways, A Month of Sundays is more like, it's, relationships with family and people in general it's hard at the best of times, and kind of in this day and age with addiction and substance abuse and stuff like that kind of factors into taking it to another level. And that was kind of mining that kind of idea is what we did.
Yeah, and it's one of 2 really sort of slow to take her down on the energy level on the record as well, right? Sort of like a nice.
Look, this because Mark mentioned we went out to Caslow. That's in BC. I recommend that to any band if you have some time on the road, and you have an album to write. Just take some days off and go to a cabin and bring a case of beer,
Jump in the
sit
lake.
around, do whatever, but kind of put a loose focus around songwriting, and just because you're by yourself out there.
I remember because I had to keep playing that riff. Mark's like, just keep playing. I was like, come on, man. What? And he wrote, because you were writing lyrics, and I was just sort of like, I want to go in. I don't want to do this.
But in all fairness to you killed the second verse. Like the second verse is better. Anyways, we should just get to the song and let people actually hear it. So
yeah, for sure.
Let's play that one. A Month of Sundays.
Tell me you love me, carry on just like you do, saying bad things and you mean it too. If we weren't family, would we still be friends? Will I be seeing you less still be friends? Will I be seeing you less and less? What's going round? What's coming round? What's going round? It's coming round. What's going round? It's coming round. What's going round? It's coming round. It's coming round. It's going round. It's coming round. It's going round. It's going round. It's going round.
Okay, that one was Full of Wires.
Month of Sundays. I
Or
believe.
Month of
Yeah.
Sunday, sorry.
I think we got Full of Wires.
Get to know your album day. Get to
Yeah.
know the order.
it gets shut off. We don't get to listen.
I
to
actually
these.
have it here, and
Yeah.
you would think that I would actually look at it, and I'm like thinking, no, Full of Wires.
You're thinking
next.
Full of Wires.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Full
You
of Wires.
kids out there, that's a compact disc that Mark's holding up. A
Mhm.
compact
Well,
disc
the
is what they
compact
call
disc.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we used to download everything, we used to, well, that was, how long were CDs the thing?
It's like a mini album.
Yeah,
CDs were a thing for a long time.
yeah, they lasted a while.
Anyways,
But vinyl's back.
yeah, finals back in a big way.
Mhm.
Okay, let's get to Full of Wires here. We recorded this one with Daryl Newdorf out at his farm, where his cat slept on me every night
hmm
out in the
So
studio.
I slept in the van.
Yeah, you slept in the
I have a
van.
bad cat allergy, so I couldn't. But it was a wonderful place.
It was
Anyways,
it was
Yeah.
it was a really good time. This one for me is actually like my favorite moments are you're playing the piano, us getting it, you know what I mean? Like
oh, for this next song.
Yeah, for
that was
Full of
great.
Wires, yeah.
That was real fun. hmm And then, at the end of the song, I did this sort of ad lib thing, just on the vibe. It was still there, and the tapes rolling, the digital tapes rolling, and I thought, I got to play this. And then, so we gave the album or the song to Sylvia Massey to mix it, and she's like, you guys mind if I sort of arrange a few things? No, go ahead. We trust her. Comes back with strings, and then at the very end, you'll hear like she's got this string arrangement embellishing the piano thing I did that I thought she would just cut out of the song. She kept it in and played to it. It's like this moment at the end, like she got a string player whose name is Morgan Shaughnessy. I got it.
I was gonna give it
Morgan Shaughnessy from the West
Strong
Coast.
work. That's awesome.
Yeah. And so it's me and Morgan Shaughnessy playing Sylvia's arrangement and her mix.
Yeah, I feel like Daryl actually brought out a really great version out of us because we had actually already kind of pretty demoed it, like to a point where we actually were pretty happy with it. And then we decided to kind of go to his place and kind of redo it. And I think it actually brought it up to another level, like where it's just like he brought great vocals out of us and stuff like that. It's like that you can hear, like where it's soaring at the end. Whereas like I don't think our version prior to that had that energy as much. But
Yeah, he was. I mean, all those songs we did there were the environment was so perfect, and he was. I mean, he's one of those guys who's like working the whole time, right? He's no matter what we're doing, he's like making sure it's all good, and that was cool. It was super fun.
Well, the interesting thing about that studio is because most studios, obviously, you're not in the room with the guy that's actually mixing the record while you're actually playing it or recording, right? He's sitting in the center of the room, and we're actually, on either side. Steve's on the far corner, and Casey's in one side. And so it made for a great vibe. It was
Also, Derek, I really felt like getting akin to him because
Daryl.
I'm sorry, yes, because he's a drummer. He played with 5440, and he's a keyboardist. I think he used to play keyboards as well. So he has got all these keyboards around the studio and great sensibility. You're right. It's awesome.
Yeah, this one, it ended up being almost 7 minutes or something. So buckle up.
Okay, let's listen to this one.
Yeah.
Walk a mile in her unfaithful shoes. Step outside, a little while outside the point of view. Reconcile, make amends with them who took from you. 'Cause you don't know how much time you'll get to say all the things that still need to be said. Just don't wind yourself up dead, full of pride and an empty heart. One more try, little one, just give it one more try. Eye for an eye, just don't decide when you're blind, alright. 'Cause you don't know how much time you'll get for these night shifts on bar stools working on forgetting. Just don't wind yourself up dead, full of wine and an empty heart. Time to go. Don't let me know when it's my time to go. 'Cause we don't know how much time we'll get. There's a maker to be made, let it be from my own bed. And don't let the sounds in my head be the hum of machines and those hospital regrets. Just don't let me wind up dead, full of wires and an empty heart. Heart.
We're back.
Hey.
Ben's with us.
Ben,
You with us, Ben? Hey, buddy.
Live from my kitchen.
That's right. Ben is technically our host. We've been talking a lot, but Ben is in control of all this. So you can
This
just
is your
tell us what to
Your
do.
release party. I kind of wandered into this. I didn't even
No,
know.
it's great.
It's
Yeah.
really not. I'm happy to be a part of it because I love you guys and I've been a fan for a long time. But it is an honor, and it's a great record. And also, let's talk about you've already brought it up, but I had not looked at the credits till last night, the night before when I was listening to the record. Sylvia Massey, who produced the first couple of Tool records and has done so much great work, doesn't strike me as an obvious Elliott BROOD compadre. How did that all happen? And now that I know you're all Tool fans, I think we're even.
Show him the book.
well, it was this book. Steve brought this in, and we were just like enamored with it.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like you're day after day, you're going over stuff, and if Casey's doing tracking a part, you're kind of like you keep going through this thing, and you're like, this lady's brilliant. Like and you fall in love with her. And
Well,
then,
she shows all these recording techniques in the book, right?
Yes.
Like one of my favorites is you put a hose around the kick, around the bottom of the drum set, and put a mic in the hose, and then you take that sound. Another thing she does in the book is electrify like pickles with sound, and then mics the pickle. You know, crazy stuff, just crazy stuff.
but she like when you talk to her on the phone, she is there. She's so present. You know what I mean? Like, and she's just like her videos. Like, if you go and watch her, please take a moment and go watch her on YouTube. And when she's working with artists and the stuff that she breaks down, her interest in microphones, like even when we were talking with her about mixes, and she's like, oh, I can't talk right now. My husband, he's just going across the country now to grab 1,000 mics or something like that. How many was it, Kay?
Yeah, they bought a collection. She had bought like this. I mean, I'm sure she has it all over her Twitter feed. Yeah, they were driving home with this collection of like mics. It was awesome. She's a total music nerd person. She knows everything. And yeah, like I said, we were just saying earlier, it's like we sent her a mix, and I don't think we had any notes when she sent us back the 2 tracks she worked on. We're just kind of like, whoa, wow, that's pretty awesome. Like adding strings and just the arrangement of stuff. It was wild. So yeah, pretty cool.
Well, I mean, now that like the Massey thing, and we were discussing while we were off mic our shared Tool fandom. Are there any other kind of unexpected background influences that prey upon the Elliott BROOD sound? I mean, what, like, people might have an idea what Elliott BROOD is. I would wager, or I would say that you guys consistently kind of confound expectations, but that whole Tool Sylvia Massey connection is unexpected. What else? What else is lurking in the background that we might not know? What dark obsessions do you guys have?
We both have an obsession for Del Shannon. I think Casey's has outgrown mine.
Mine's sick. I don't understand why that biopic is not made yet. Why there's not a good Del Shannon, because his story is insane. Like, it's a crazy. That one for sure is. But I mean, I was like really pumped about that Rage reunion. I have a lot of like heaviness. Like that's my era of when I came to be in music, was like Rage and Nirvana and Tool. I actually saw those 3 bands within 10 days in Detroit when I was 16 years old. So that's my, that's where the loudness comes from. But yeah, Del is in that kind of era of whatever. I don't even, what's Del's music? Rock and roll, I guess. I don't really know if there's a kind of rock and roll that he made. Like, his version of that Stone song At a Time is one of my favorite songs ever. He did a record that Tom Petty produced, and the Heartbreakers are the band on it in the 80s, called Drop Down and Get Me. That is like, it's got to be the most underrated record ever for me. I'm just like, no one knows this album, and it's just like the Heartbreakers with Del singing, and it's unbelievable. And then Tom Petty ended up stealing his bass player and led him into depression and bad things happened.
Yeah, he killed himself, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. That is a good biopic.
He was supposed to be in the Wilburys. He was going to be in the Wilburys. And it's a crazy, that movie should be made if it's not already in the works, but yeah.
Any other like things that we would not expect you guys to play in the tour bus? Now, cool tour bus?
We were doing that Cars cover for a while on tour a couple years ago. That was kind of funny. That people were like, "What?"
That's the synths they worked on.
Yeah, and Steve would rock the synth solo and everything. It was crazy.
Oh, I'm trying to get this left-hand synth thing while I drum, and it's not easy. But
yeah,
try to make it easy.
Yeah, I think it's funny because I think the music we make is not necessarily representative of what we all listen to. Like for myself, I came in the back door to like the Burrito Brothers and all the stuff I listen to now is only because I've been touring in this circle of Americana stuff. It's not where I personally came from. I don't think really you as well, Mark, other than like Buckner and Grantley Phillips and that kind of stuff, like
tell him your Chris Hillman story. Okay.
Okay.
I could tell you a quick story. Like we're at a festival in Holland. Shout out to Hank. Shout out to Jan. What's that
Chris
town?
Hillman is though. Chris Hillman is from the Birds.
Yeah, everyone knows who he is
Right.
except for me, apparently.
Yeah.
Chris Hillman from the Birds was sitting across from me at the cafeteria during this festival, and I thought he was like a volunteer because I just didn't know the music. This is 10, 12 years ago before. And I'm talking to him, like thanking him for like volunteering to help clean up the cafeteria. And then so, we're talking, I'm like, yeah, I got a band, we're playing later. And I'm telling him like, you should come check us out if you have time off or whatever. And so he goes off, and then I walk into like the main room at the end of the night, and it's Chris Hillman singing Bird songs. I'm just like, oh, like I had such a moron. I didn't have the knowledge yet because I didn't, I was still listening to.
He's not David Crosby. He's not like a.
No, but
he's still a big deal, and now in my world, right? Like everything I like now, his book's coming out in a few months, and I'm just waiting for that book to come out because it's all the Burrito Brothers, Graham Parsons, all that stuff, right? Like, but at the time, I had no care. I didn't know. Now I'm just like, I was sitting across from Hillman. Damn it.
we didn't grow up on that music. You know what I mean? Like, even though we grew up in Detroit, that's not the music that's played on the radio. You know what I mean? Like, it's so, yeah, like Casey's saying, we came to it the back door, like the backwards route, right?
Look up 6 Days on the Road live where he's got the fro and he's just singing. It's like, that's a hero. It's a hero.
He's in time with his bass player as they move in and out. It's like watching like human faders with the music. It's phenomenal. Yeah. Anyways,
this is my new life mission. I'm learning so much. I've actually really enjoyed watching you guys talk about the songs as they're playing and just observing your interband dynamics. And I wonder how you guys, you've been a band for a long time. Generally, I think most bands blow apart pretty quick if they don't get it. Or they last. You know what I mean? Like there's a short shelf life or a long shelf life. So what is it about the three of the clicks that makes this work? Obviously, you've hit upon something. And
I think the fact that there's just three of us is a huge thing. That's one of them. But
three's a great number for a band. I don't know. I mean, we've also had Aaron Goldstein on the road, but it's an easy number to work.
The omnipresent Aaron Goldstein.
But we literally act like a company. Like our songs are Elliott BROOD songs, but no one is like doing anything. We're all even,
we're partners.
The way we look at it is we're partners in this like business. It's our job. We get to create things that happens to be our product or whatever, but it's not one person, and we get to decide everything as a democracy with three of us. So generally it's 2 against 1 and the other one goes with it. And we've been like, everyone benefits the same way. We all bring different things to it. Steve brings engineering, Mark brings design work in addition to songwriting. So it's like, I think that personally is why I think we're still around, because it's our job. We look at it like work, and it's our business essentially. So yeah.
But we also work well together. I think we're just very kindred spirits, and it's like that's a hard thing to find in life in general. People like a long time ago when the band first started, Casey came up to me, gave me a Richard Buckner CD after I played at the Cameron House. Mm-hmm. And it's just like Richard Buckner CD, and he's like, watch this movie Dead Man by Jim Jarmusch. And it was just like, that was it. It was just like, that solidifies the band. And then on top of that, I keep bringing it up that the comedy of Bill Hicks is like, all of those things kept us alive in the band we would just play it at nauseum. And we didn't care. 5 hours at a time of God. Bill Hicks over and over and over.
Yeah, and we still like our joke. It's that we're still in a van. We're not touring around in a bus. We're still driving ourselves and doing it very much like a bunch of teenagers. We pass those on the highway. We just look at those young guys. They don't know what they're doing yet. Whatever. But it's like, I think we just have fun for the
passing
most
Imagine Dragons and they're
on a jet.
One time, where were we coming out of Denver, and this bus was on fire, and we go to the the restaurant, Applebee's or whatever, and the woman serving us is like, "Are you guys Lady Antebellum?"
Yeah, because that was their tour bus. It was on fire, and they were stuck in the town.
It's like, funny though. You should bring up Lady Antebellum, because I always wonder if people ask, "Oh, which one of you is the lady?" But do you still get like whatever, like 18, 19 years in? Oh, like the By the way, which one's pink? Does
Oh yeah,
people
totally.
think
All
there's
of
an
it.
Elliott in the band?
Who's Elliott?
That never go away.
It's obviously the guy that's sitting, or it's like, you know.
That's Elliott.
People get surprised when they see me stand up. They think
Probably
I
sad.
can't. There's another story, the whole big chestnut story, but we won't get down that one.
We don't go down there.
But yeah, it's like, but Six Shooter, our friends at Six Shooter, we have to mention, we are back home at Six Shooter Records, who we love very much. They have helped us get this record to where it's getting, and it's going to be great. And they have asked for me to show another one of my drawings. So I do have a studio picture of Mark and Steve working together here.
That's not what you told us.
I think you have the artwork for the next record locked
Yeah,
down, really.
That's Steve telling Mark to sing from his stomach, even though there's someone inside his stomach. Sing from your gut.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think to be honest, we just have a good time, and it's so far, you know, we've fought before, but it's never been a breakup fight or anything like that.
There was a time, not to get too far into it, where we were arguing about the JFK assassination. We argued from our hotel room.
Is that Ottawa?
No, it was in Thunder
Thunder
Bay.
Bay.
'Cause we did-
across the street, all the way down the street.
I didn't like that.
Into the venue, up onto the stage,
Oh yeah, when I said you had, yeah.
played the show,
Kept
walked off
arguing.
stage, kept arguing all the way back to the hotel and back into the hotel room.
I was not happy. I kept opening the hotel room door because they were so loud that I'm like, I'm just gonna let everyone, you know, make them be quiet by opening the door. So close the door. I was like, no, we're gonna bring this loudness to the whole hotel.
Did you finish it off with like a screening of the Oliver Stone movie?
No,
No,
just
there's-
we.
It was more of a dialogue about what was right wing and left wing in media, like CNN versus Fox. It got
That was
into all
and that was
that
years
crap.
ago. It was
Oh,
years.
God.
It was years ago. We don't have to keep going into it.
Yeah,
No,
we needed
This
this.
is all healthy stuff, though. This is
this
how
whole-
a band stays together.
Yeah, the pandemic keeping us apart is a good break. It's good. We're taking
Nothing
advantage
worse
of.
than being the third party on a loud argument, though, and you can't get in.
Yeah,
within
Steve
it.
generally has to listen to us, but you guys have been going at it more so lately than. I think it's usually I'm in the middle of you guys a lot more now because
You like to
You
sit
were-
in a room, right?
That's because
I do
you're on
think it-
another side of the continent.
Well, we are
Yeah.
roommates.
Yeah.
So being roommates for as long as we
Yeah,
are,
they are roommates.
then is like, you know, that's
Get a room.
18 years. Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyways, we don't have to go
Yeah.
into that. You have some trivia for us, Ben, don't you?
I do. Should we do? I like I said, I downed quite a bit of wine last night.
there you go, as we all do.
And yeah, I refill when we're off camera here.
I'm teaching from home, so my.
But
wine goes
I
away.
do have. We could do some. I don't know how this works. Do we just ask the world?
We have a
the-
graphic, though, don't we?
Stick with that. I have the brood round, but we can also switch it up. I have some general stuff. In fact, you know what? I'm going to start with this one because
So people in the chat, you can try to answer this question if you know the answer.
Okay, what's
attentive listeners will already know the answer. If they haven't been paying attention, then
Okay.
so here we go. Ready? First trivia question. What secret weapon does Elliott Brood have in common with Tool, Johnny Cash, Prince, and Tom Petty?
Easy.
And you better spell her last name right.
Mhm. Come on, people.
I didn't on my tablet, actually.
It's purple onesies. Purple onesies.
How do we want to do this? Do you guys want
You just fire through a few
just
questions.
start
I guess.
assuming, and then they can
to
just
hold up?
answer.
I should have done stencils or something, but I'm lazy.
Well, you know, I might have a picture of you doing trivia. Here we go. Here's Ben and us doing trivia. There you go. That's Ben as the
That's
fish.
about right. Yeah,
There he is.
I love. She's your new art director. Should we answer that one? Everybody had time.
Broken records. That's
Oh.
the answer.
Diane has answered the question correctly. She's the first.
All right.
You win. Does she win something? I don't know. What's going on here? Do we win?
I don't know.
Wins
There
are-
are no. There are. It's virtual winning.
It's pride.
Yeah.
Pride. Pride is the prize.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Sylvia Massey. Should we move on?
Yeah, sure.
Well, let's do a brood specific question.
All right, Derbyshire, this one's for you.
Who plays bass in Elliott Brood? Which is, as we all know, maybe a trick question, but probably not for the heads. So who plays bass in Elliott Brood?
Let's see how quickly it gets answered here.
Yeah. Or the internet just says, "Shut this idiot down."
We're going to have to update our Wikipedia page after this.
Yeah. Who ruined the album release?
My brother. I think my brother got
Yeah,
it.
Joe Sasso.
Uh,
Are you allowed to win a contest if you're related to the isn't there like rules now? That's good. He can still win.
No,
Hasn't Trudeau taught us
I
anything?
missed his second question.
Yes, there's a lot. They're flying in now. It's Casey's feet. You're right. I play the.
all
There it
right.
is. My foot. The
All right.
piano, as Steve has called it. the
Let's do one
piano.
more brood one, and then we'll
Sounds good.
maybe broaden our horizon. What was the first Elliott Brood album to be nominated for the Polaris Music Prize?
First.
And only.
I was on the grand jury that year too.
You
I
were.
remember. I spent
What?
so much time with that record. I'm so sorry I failed you.
He voted against us.
This is-
Instantly.
Yeah, what was the first record? You got that one, Steve? You know that one?
Yeah, I do.
First, but not the last to be nominated.
There we go. That's the spirit.
Because this one,
Who wrote it
next
down?
year, 2020.
Yeah, yeah.
2021.
Ben, you know what? That year, the Polaris was a crazy year. That was like Metric had like fantasies. That was insane. That was.
It was actually like very hard and
Yeah.
a very long fought 2 days.
It was crazy. Yeah, it was
11
cool.
people.
Was it 2 days that you guys fought over
Wow.
that?
Yeah, it was like
Sounds
11
like-
people drinking together for 2 days, talking. about why they love
Perfect.
these
See,
records.
that's what Polaris is all about. That's what it's
Yeah,
all
Yeah,
about.
it's community building.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Joe Sasso got it.
Days into years, Jeff Paquin, brother-in-law of mine, also disqualified. Just kidding. You can win.
Did Shauna get it again?
Shauna
My
knows
brother
that.
got it.
Joe Sasso.
Nope.
No?
It's Scott second.
Scott Secord got it.
Secord, sorry.
Nice.
My right eye doesn't work anymore.
You know what? When
Next
we
time
were
I'll
at
work
that,
up some graphics. and we'll
they
let you
gave
have
us at the ceremony just for being there. They gave us like the 8 gig iPod, and Steve was like disgusted. about it.
That's what I got for being on the jury.
No, but listen to this. Wait a second.
He's like
listen to
8
this, though.
gigs.
I go,
What?
It was the first iPod Touch though. It was like
Yeah, it was like a new tech.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
totally.
we got it loaded with all the records, so I didn't even have to buy that piece.
But I
There you
think
go.
the guy handing them out to Steve and us was like the head of Apple at here
I don't know
in
what
Canada.
it was,
He's
but
like,
yeah.
Steve's like,
Someone said,
8
pardon?
gigs.
Can you say that again? So I said it again. It's an 8 gig.
Yeah. I tried to like even turn it on. Like,
You don't want
I found it a couple months ago. There's no go. Like 8 gigs doesn't even start the thing up. I got a follow up though, because
All right, here we go.
obviously another record sadly took the Polaris Music Prize that year. Does anybody remember who won the Polaris
Yeah.
Music Prize in 2009? Over Mountain Meadows, I believe Metric's Fantasies, Chad Van Galen's.
Yeah, Van Galen.
oh,
Right.
and what is it? What's the other guy?
The Montreal fella.
Yeah,
There's a bunch.
yeah.
Wasn't Owen Pallet on there
It
too?
was no.
That
That
one
one,
right
the
here?
first one.
He
Oh, that was
even
before.
It was Holy Fuck for sure.
Fucked up.
Oh,
You're close.
Ooh.
Why did I swear?
It's okay. It's okay.
Why?
It's probably a black spot. Should we do? Let's have another general trivia one.
yeah.
Actually, no. Here's a good one. What famous international landmark did Elliott Brood name their debut full-length after?
Yes, that is a famous one.
It's an international landmark too.
Currently closed to all visitors,
Yeah.
I think.
It's called.
Yeah, you're not coming back, Casey.
No, I'm here now. It's fine. It's warm. You know.
I guess we'll give it to them if they get the title, but I'm assuming they know the title, so we'll just get the landmark.
Coincidentally, some kid climbed it like the other day and took some crazy shots from the top of it in his Vans, like his van sneakers.
Oh,
like
crazy.
it,
Really?
amazing shots. But it's just like
Ooh.
From the American side or the Canadian side?
I think Canadian side.
I feel like the American side he'd been snipered down.
The
Right.
answers are flying in. Well, I like Al Fraser, our good friend and good buddy. It is not called the Windsor Bridge, my friend. It is called the Ambassador.
And the album wasn't called Windsor.
You know
loser.
why he's calling it that? Because he's from Sarnia. He's from the other Windsor. So there's your problem right there. We love you, Al. Good to hear from you, buddy.
Who got it though?
Joe got it
Dad
first.
Lori too.
Called it right. 'Cause,
Oh
I think, no, you see, Scott Secord
no, he spelt it wrong.
spelled it wrong.
DJ Bibbs is
Door.
going with the Gordie Howe Bridge, the new bridge that's going in. I saw an article the other day that Windsor is Canada's new cultural hub.
I saw that piece
Did
too.
you see that?
No.
I don't know why, but
I was talking to a friend of mine who'd left Windsor for San Francisco and then Portland, so he's just fled fire
He's got to come back.
Fire. And I was like, "Are you coming back?" He's like, "I feel sorry for anybody who will be drawn to Windsor by that article and be
It's you know, it's our hometown and we do love it, but it's not the hub. It's a fine place and there's lots of things to do there, but it's not
Great people.
not the hub. Yeah.
Actually, I got a Windsor question. I have 2 tattoos.
Yeah, all right.
So I'm a techno guy. So here we go.
Oh, here.
Oh yeah, Richie.
Yeah, oh damn it, you can't answer.
Sorry. Is that where we're going with this? All right.
Name. God damn it.
Richie
Name the renowned Canadian electronic producer, a friend of mine, from Windsor, Ontario, to whom Detroit techno creators Derek May, Kevin Saunderson, and Juan Atkins ceded the closing slot at the inaugural Detroit Electronic Music Festival in 2000. But maybe they haven't picked up on it. Maybe they're
Yeah, I said it fast.
rock fans don't know.
Yeah.
These guys don't know.
Funny enough, my mom. Oh, I know it. Rich. Why?
Give me a hint. I got plastic. Whoa.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So his mom used to work with my mother, and so back in the days, like,
Brenda, I know.
my son, he has this record here. You should listen to this. And I was like, oh, okay.
Joe Sasso's got it. I like Jamie Shea's answer, Peter Mansbridge. Oh no, that's probably for the bridge.
Answers from Windsor.
That's probably an answer for the bridge.
He was the original Plastic Man.
Yeah, he not many people know
Oh,
that.
DJ
Right.
Bibbs got it. Didn't he?
He's got
Oh, no,
plastic.
my brother
Man, yeah.
did. My brother got the correct person.
My
Where are you-
uncle is close. My uncle, who I can't believe he even knows this, he did write Hawkins.
Oh, well, that's close enough.
So that's pretty good for him to know that. That's pretty awesome.
I do love that Rich's mom would always work the door to I used to go to Detroit and Windsor basically, and I still do. I'm 45 years old, 46. So I just turned 46. My friend Sean and I still go to Detroit or Windsor whenever Richie Houghton plays a hometown
Crazy.
show
Yeah.
and carry on as fathers should not.
There's rumors
The
that
tunnel bus back and they have to let you back in no matter how
Yeah, that's
cockeyed
right.
you are. That's all right, so we have another brood question. Of like,
yeah, let's do one more before we hit side
You know,
B.
Wes-
Let's-
you know
let me
Wes
find a good
very
one.
well. I like
Yeah.
This one I don't know the answer to, so I'm in the same boat as everyone else.
Wow.
What Elliott Brood song features shakers made of nuts and bolts? And I can't remember the answer to that. You guys fed me that question. I felt like a dolt.
Oh.
Well, I didn't want to search it. I didn't want to cheat.
Well, there's
It's on this album.
Oh, I
no.
know it. I know it.
There's two though. Is there not two? Okay.
There's probably, I'm sure it creeped in. I know it's featured on one for
This is
sure
a
because I made it
tempo.
out of a
Yeah, Kay
collective
did it.
beer can.
It's
Yes.
about here, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's just say it's off the. Do you want to say it's off the? To simplify it, say it's off the latest one.
It's off the latest one, but just guess a song from our latest record and see who gets it.
Mhm.
Can you hear the bolts when you? I mean, you'd have to listen to it a bunch probably, but we had to make. We've done this a lot over the years, just like pots and pans, as you know.
Well, here,
Yeah.
on a related note, let's do one more though, just
All
for the heads. Then what, Steve? In the early days, you used an unusual object to give your drum kit its kick.
Right.
What was the kick drum in the early touring days of Elliott Brood? So it's a double. It's a double. We can. Someone will get something. It's a makeshift theme right now.
Yeah. Is this the double question? The
Yeah,
nuts and bolts
I'm
one?
just confusing people now.
Well, oh, Joe Sasso got it again, and Rita Lafayette got
No,
it.
Rita Lafayette got it.
Nice.
They know the deal. They were at those
Not
shows.
C chord.
This is my favorite thing that my brother is battling your mom for
Ooh.
supremacy here. Okay.
That's-
Westcott C chord.
We have
All
very dedicated families, which is pretty neat. It's cool.
Nice going, guys. Yeah, it was a suitcase. I used to hit the suitcase.
I remember those shows. I was like it's a long time ago. I can't believe
It's-
we've all been
it's a
at
market
this as long
days.
as we all have been at this.
Yeah. Yeah, that lasted until a fateful show in Montreal where we were playing with the United Steelworkers in Montreal,
Mm-hmm.
and guys had started using the amps and everything, and we were rocking out pretty hard. And sure enough, I went right through that suitcase. But I knew it was going to happen. It was on the Mountain Meadows tour, and I knew it was going to happen. So I had a kick drum waiting side stage, and we got rid of the suitcase and went straight to kick, and it's been.
It's like when Luke discovered the Force. It was like a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, this is it. We're switching.
Mhm.
We're Jedis.
Yeah.
But Steve so wanted to get to in all fairness though, like I think you put up with the suitcase kick drum for the longest time because it's so perplexing to sound men when you show up with a
I was
suit.
gonna say, it's gonna be hard to mic, right?
How do I mic this
I
thing?
liked it.
And for Noah, sound women, sound people.
Yes,
right? We got Noah Camus probably watching out there somewhere. We're gonna be, it's all good.
there you go.
I think one of the weirdest shows with that, we opened for Blue Rodeo at Art Park in Buffalo, down near Buffalo, and it's a big venue. It's probably 2,000
And it's like
outdoor. Yeah, and I had that suitcase. I was like, man, this isn't gonna work. Well,
That looks, that's cute.
yeah, that's cute, but how are you gonna make that sound like an?
Yeah,
It would be embarrassing if you were opening for like Rush.
Yeah, totally.
Here we go.
Hey,
Here's
I had to play bass pedals in front of Geddy Lee at a wedding. That was terrible because they're like, I can't do this in front of Geddy Lee. It was at a wedding, which was just.
What was your line? Whose line was it? It's just like, how do you know how do you know it's Geddy Lee?
He looks
Because he looks
Exactly.
exactly like Geddy Lee.
There can be only one.
We had to learn how to Nagila, and they made us stop playing it and put on the album version of it while we were playing.
That was a suitcase game.
Funny enough,
It
funny enough, that's
was.
the Carlu. So that's like, right? It was the Carlu, was it not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So-
can't impress the bass player from Rush with your
But-
suitcase.
No.
The takeaway for this is don't hire Elliott Brood for your Jewish wedding. If
Right.
anyone's learned anything.
No, don't let us play your traditional songs. It's not good. We also did it. What was that wedding where it was like us and then a mariachi band and then us and then that was one of your buddies.
Oh yeah,
It
the Latvian wedding.
was like this weird like mariachi band, then like the Cowboys, and then the it was so weird. It was so,
Yeah.
but it was fun. It was just Latvian or something. I don't know what happened.
Oh yeah. Memories. It's good times.
Yeah, that was good time.
We should probably play the second side of this album, boys.
It's really good, too. The second
yeah.
side's really good.
Yeah, well, let's dip into the country side of this record.
Well, we're gonna start with a dark one though. This one's called "Oh Me," and I love the Mellotron on this. It's actually like an old school kind of country tune. Just a man and a woman. It's pretty dark, but it's still beautiful at the same time. It's like the one person not wanting to pass away before the other one. That's kind of the whole premise of that.
You mentioned Mellotron. That's the vocals and also the other
The keys at the same
keys,
time.
the string thing.
It's,
Yeah.
it's the sound that you
You hear
kind
all
of
the-
hear in Western, a lot of
Yeah.
Western, movies and all that stuff. It's cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ennio Marcasasso.
oh, there you go.
Get that? It's like
He had passed away this year.
Yeah, passed away.
He had passed away this year.
But in the sequencing, it made a lot of sense to have this song lead the second side. I would say that it's
Right.
cool. Sort of, it's a mood shift when you're flipping the vinyl over.
Right.
But let's play it, Guillermo. Let's check it out.
Right.
What have we done, dear? And where will we go then? What has become of us? What will become of them?
back.
Yeah,
Are we
that
back?
was me.
Where
Yeah,
did,
that's-
we lost a guy.
No,
Yeah.
we're going to a
We're going
two
to-
shot.
Yeah,
That's what they call in TV. They call it a two shot, and that's where we are.
shot. We're back.
So yeah, that was Oh Me.
Back.
Anything else you want to say about that number? It's a
No,
movie
it-
song.
It's nice. I'm happy with that one.
Mm.
This one we had to kind of fight for because you weren't like thinking that this one should be on the record, but
Yeah, I wasn't. It got there. It definitely got there. We actually have two. This next song is called Merciless Wind. It's also a song that is severely upped by Aaron Goldstein's work for sure. Here's a picture of him again. Did I show you this one? There he is. I'm not sure if that's Goldie.
that was the one you showed earlier.
But there was we did a Neil Young Crazy Horse version of this song, and then we did this one that's on our record, which ended up being more appropriate for the album. But it's kind of one of those long story songs that's I ended up liking it. I think it's because I was just sitting with it alone for so long that I didn't really think it was good or whatever. So that's where I was at with
That's
it.
the one thing that I kind of like with us is that we actually fight for each other's songs to be on a record. You know what I mean? It's you know what I mean? No, this is why it should be on, or this is why it should be off the top. Like for Bird Dog, which I didn't think should be off the top, but it's just in hindsight, it's oh yeah, it makes total sense. Whereas Merciless Wind, and the one thing is kudos to Steve for this one. Steve plays amazing piano lines.
Oh, thanks.
Weaving it in and out of this song, and that for me, on top of Casey's guitar lines, is yes, it is.
That was the little Garth bit I came up with. It was I actually channeled a bit of Garth on the
nice.
diddly.
Yeah, it just made it more saloony. It was it worked out to be perfectly it fit the song well for sure.
Because this one I think is a real nice lyrical gem that is almost, it feels like a holdover from Days into Years, but it's not. It's kind of updated and kind of has its own moment here.
Yeah, it's definitely a war story, and it's sort of. I always thought you hear these stories of young soldiers going off to war, and they have the love of this good woman who's gonna get them through. And you see these movies where they come home to that, but this is the story of someone who goes thinking that, but that's not the case, kind of thing, and still kicks some ass. And it has it still becomes this sort of to think that you're doing something for some reason in your life that's actually not true, but you still do it and you're good at it. It's kind of an interesting thought to me anyway. So that's
it's almost akin to did you watch the Ken Burn documentary, the series for Vietnam?
Because yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because that maybe what spoke to me the most is they have these soldiers and they're how they kind of their viewpoint changes instantly from a regular human to something else, and that's kind of what drew me into this character as well.
Yeah, and I think as a band we've always loved the soldier stories for sure. I think that's pretty obvious, that idea, mostly because we've never had to do that. I think we talk about that a lot. Is look at us, I guess we're in a war now against a virus, but we've never had to. A lot of people had to go through way worse. This is our war or whatever people say that now. But I'm just fascinated with the people that have to do that stuff and come home. So that's where.
It's amazing. The side story of that, or the main story of that, is that he came home to nobody, right? Because his partner had left him and
didn't even come home. Didn't make it.
Didn't even make it home. But he
wasn't coming home to anything. Is the point? Is the woman? Yeah, in this story. The woman doesn't really care about this guy, but he thinks she really does, and that's what's spurring him on to become this super soldier kind of thing. So, but yeah, with that being said, what is this? This one clocks in around 4 minutes. Get her started, I guess.
It's a nice one. This is a slow burn all the way through. I love the banjo.
Yeah, and it's
even though I play banjo, but I kind of
yeah, no, but it's a lot of great instrumentation, great piano, and again, like we said, Goldie, our good friend who we love very much. Really, at the end, when I heard his steel on both versions, we will release the heavy version at some point. But it just really sort of just makes the song to me, it's the sound of the song. So yeah, let's play it up. Let's Merciless Wind.
Yep.
He was a shy one and she thought no more of him or all of those things that she'd said. A taste for the blood and the rain and the mud, something changed in his heart and his head. And he did it for her when he piled up the dead. That she'd taken his heart, she was trying to be just a friend. 'Cause boys sent to fight wars need something they'll die for, and most never came home again. And she figured his fate would be like other men, but he kept through Merciless wind. Shot down on a cold piece of ground, and he thought of those words when he died. He knew that the little woman waiting back home for him's all that had kept him alive. Through the merciless winds and those murderous nights,
Yeah, that's a beauty. That's a great one.
Nice.
I enjoy that one.
Yeah. Deedly 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 dee.
Sorry.
Oh,
Now what?
you there, Kay?
Yeah, I was muted. Zoom fail. Zoom fail. I was just gonna say that might be the song I've listened to the least out of the whole record, so it's good to hear it again. But yeah, I think it's. I'm glad we put it on there now. I'm sure.
But when you say the least, the whole thing is, which people
still
don't-
1,000 times.
Yeah, exactly. People don't really realize that we listen to
Yeah.
these songs 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Like,
Once you
and that's
actually-
no
yeah.
lie though. Like that's not even joking.
Yeah, once you send it into mastering, it's like, I'm done. You know, and then you visit it
Yeah.
again like 10 years later.
But as a musician, you know this. I did the Pacific Coast Highway test with the record. I did the desert test because
Yeah.
I'm out because I happen to be here. You got to drive it. You got to do that.
Well,
stuff.
yeah,
So
like
it passed all
having
those tests.
just when you get the copy in the mail, we got like all the copies in the mail
this
It
week.
was like, yes, and I put it on and played it. It was like nice to hear it again, for sure.
The next one, Out Walkin', which Kay brought in and instantly is like an earworm. I don't know. It's just like I love the rhythm like right off the top. The kind of this one is actually, I know it's like an old school, type of an idea. Boy meets girl. He's not supposed to. What I mean? Maybe I'll let you intro it, but it's just like I just loved it from the get go. And
Well, I look at it like you. It's like I always look at it as like in this story, the young man is the one who's getting taken advantage of, in my opinion. Like a young sort of like impressionable guy who, whatever. That's how I look at it. But I wanted to just try to write a song that had one chord, to be honest, when I started it, which happens to be G. Of course, it's G. What other chord would we? What else would it be?
Is this sort
But
of
then
Is this sort of a version of the farmer, like that joke where the guy?
It's the farmer's daughter story, essentially. It's like a young man who's like leaves home like a country kid and like gets into some trouble, basically. And the start of the song is him getting chased. The end of the song is him getting chased. It is an old, like, sort of standard story, that's that kind of idea.
go ahead. Sorry, keep going.
No, I just said, I hope it doesn't. Yeah, it's that kind of idea, but it's essentially like I wanted to just build the same chug over and over, which is what we ended up doing, right? Like layers and layers, and there's a couple other chords in there, but I think we maxed out at 2.5.
But the one thing that I usually don't like is like old school like country records always go, if you can't solve it, you might as well just go for a key change. But it actually works here. Like for me, it actually just amps up the intensity. We kind of, and I was
no, it ended up being
like, we should go for a key change here, which is like, I don't know. It just works in this instance. And I actually like the perspective of it because it's like at the end, it's the dad and his sons chasing this guy down, but then he's also looking back. And the funny thing is we do that on a whole bunch of these songs is like we have double perspectives. Like Bird Dog does it, Out Walkin' does it, No Way Out. Or no, sorry, not No Way Out. Need to Know, stuff like that. It's like double perspective type songs, which is kind of interesting. I love this one. This one's one of my favorites.
Yeah, this worked out. This also like the idea is pretty old, but we spent a lot of time on it. For a simple song, we did spend a lot of time, and we had Michael on this one. Michael Johnson played horns on this recording, I should say. Do we have a picture of Michael? That's what I'm looking for here. We do. Michael Johnson, here he is. He helped us out at the end with horn arrangement and stuff. So yeah, he's been on previous records too. We've worked with him before. He's one of those guys again who just can add magic to anything. But yeah, this is one of those songs. I cannot wait to play this one live. This is one of those ones that's going to be like super fun to get to this in a set or whatever. Because we've been rehearsing it now, and we know it's going to be fun.
But this one also feels like we can almost like punk it up as well if we want when we play it live. It can kind of go. We can go, rootsy or punk, and yeah, it's fun. You want to play it? Want to spin it?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's play this track.
Yep.
Oh my God, I can hear him coming. I can hear him coming up and over that hill. Oh my God, I can hear him coming, cursing and running and looking for the kill. I went out to water one morning, straight a little ways from the home I know. Barely yet a man didn't know where I was going. I followed the river till I come upon the road. Follow that dirt road down into the valley. I walked all day till the day run out. The sky was growing dark, I was growing weary. I was just about to give in when I seen a little house. I called to the house and the door swung open. The prettiest girl that I ever had seen. And up from behind her came her mama and her papa. The three older brothers didn't like the looks of me. The old man reluctantly invited me to supper. Some time to recover and to get a little rest. He pointed to his daughter and told me that I couldn't. I promised that I wouldn't, but you know what happened next. Oh my God, I can hear him coming. I can hear him coming up and over that hill. Oh my God, I can hear him coming, cursing and running and looking for the kill. Oh my God, I can see him running, I can see him running up and over that hill. Oh my God, I can hear him coming, cursing and running and looking for the kill. Oh my God.
Nice.
Nice.
There's a new record.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking with us, everybody. We're nearly there. We have 2 more to play for you. And then we'll chat
Someone
about it.
ask them where they can buy it. Is it for sale?
Do we have anyone who can help us?
Just because music feels free doesn't mean that it is. No.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't know. Is it available?
I think
It's
Starbucks
available
still sells
everywhere.
albums. Doesn't
You know what? It's
Starbucks sell
actually in stores.
Yep.
I think, right? Right, girls? Yeah.
And it was actually holding #1 spot on iTunes today, wasn't it?
It still
Australia.
is.
Who knows?
There you
Yeah.
go.
Those are good stats.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's
Yeah. Yes, it is available now, probably, digitally for sure, and record stores.
yeah.
Digitally.
Actually, it would be nice if you support a record store. If you can do that, we would encourage you to try to do that, because God knows we're all in trouble right now with the way things are. But if you can do that, that's the best way to do it for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. The next one on the list is Need to Know. This is another quiet one, actually. Do you want to say anything about it, or I'm wondering? This one I loved kind of what you guys did. Like, we kind of pulled back on this one and didn't orchestrate it as much as we would normally do. You know what I mean? Like, it just felt
This is actually right off the bed track. I think
It is.
what I mean by that is like basically off the demo. Like, we were basically recording it and then we added some, pulled some away, but the structure was there, right? Just very light, just a few mics.
Yeah, I think we kind of,
Simple.
with the Bruce Dickinson thing is like play to the room. I think we played to the room a lot with this one. It's like, instead of adding more cowbell, we took it away. And then,
I feel like we finished this one pretty early, right? Like, this one was one of the first ones we actually said, okay, this is done, kind of thing.
it was almost like a live take, and I think then I went back and then redid my vocals, but maybe I didn't. I don't know.
There was a lot of bleed. It was hard to redo very much.
Okay, so
because
then
it
maybe
was
I just,
bleeding around.
and that's a hard thing for us sometimes, is to remember how you actually recorded something, because if especially when you're recording over a year period or whatever. It
Then we brought it back for mixing, and that's when we realized that everything was sort of led together, right?
Yeah.
In one.
Maybe it was just what it is. I mean, I like the simplicity for Casey's guitar and the keyboard line that he kind of plays. This one's just, I don't know. I really like it. It's like, it's an old school. The idea was like, a country star that finds out that his wife is kind of pregnant and decides that he's not going to stick around and leaves, and then totally regrets the idea of that later in life. Regrets not watching his kid grow up, and kind of what those emotions are and what that's all about. So,
Huge.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what this one's about.
Yeah. No
This
drums.
one's Need to Know. Okay, let's spin this one.
I'm sorry it happened a long time ago. Your mom's taking in heavy with you below. She said it might be time that I lay it down. I just smiled and faded off into the crowd. Now the years they've gone, and time moved on. Still I can't seem to find myself, but you're still with me. I wish I'd known you in my youth. All those things we could have but didn't do. I let those clouds staggered off to another town. But I need to know, how could you have sold us, left us all by ourselves, then we never heard from you.
All right. That's neat to know. We got one more.
Yeah, that's this will be the next one is it's called The Coast. And Mark, this one again, we were saying earlier, this is probably one of the earliest. We started it the longest ago. It's one of the oldest tracks on here, I guess, right? Like
This
the
one
original.
and Month of Sundays were written the exact same day. But there's the funny thing is we're gonna have to do maybe on the acronym. We'll maybe we can do a spot where like acronym when we have our. You want to hold it up again for a second here? Yeah, analytical criticism regarding objectivity, narrowing your music. We're gonna host that, but maybe we can have some demos. We can let people rip apart demos or just hear what we've kind of worked on, because these ones, like this one specifically, The Coast, the demo is you playing drums, Casey playing banjo, and me playing guitar, and that's not actually what it got to.
Right.
It would be nice because, to be honest, all these comments are very positive. So if we did something where people could shred us up a bit, that would be fun. Let's do that. These are all. No one here is mad. Everyone's like, "This is great." So we'll get into that. It would be fun actually to show you some of the demos, because we're in this new universe now where no one can tour, and it's like we can get behind we have all of the original sketches of these songs. So that's something we could probably do weekly whenever we're doing this stuff. But it is interesting. It would be interesting probably to see, because of what the song became, the humble beginnings of it, I think, is this one went from A to B is a long way for sure.
Totally. And because it was so slow and didn't have, it had the same, obviously, chord progression, all that stuff, but the lyrics are different as well. And so maybe we can mine it a bit more and actually approach it from a different angle further down the road. But anyways, this one, The Coast, for me, again, I think Casey's, your like key work on this one, like your keyboard work, actually is pretty awesome. And Steve has some great moments with tambourine, which actually feels Beach Boy-esque for me, that I really like. Is like, those are the things that you kind of like fall in love with. That's the one thing about this band that I enjoy, is like you guys come up with great parts that like obviously take a song that I sketched out and then you build it into something else, right?
I remember being pretty nervous about trying to present the synth idea. I was driving around Dundas, like on the top of the hill there, like really fast into the country roads. And I'm like, this is good, right? Like we're really a Brood. Like, are we allowed to do this? Like weird. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I like this, but I don't know what it's good.
You sold it with a lot of like, I believe.
I was pushing. Yeah, I got pretty behind it eventually, but I was like, I don't know if this takes us out of the world. I think it ended up. You're right. I think it works, but it's like.
Well, it totally works, and much like that idea, and us being like, does this fit on this record? And I mean, it fits on this record because it's a relationship thing that kind of ties in with everything else, right? But I mean, stylistically and sonically, it's kind of different, and that's kind of why it's at the end of the record, the way it is. But it's kind of bringing in, maybe brings us into a new phase, or
this song is the thing that's going to make me buy it on the electric 12 string. And I live in California, so you kind of have to have one. It's like having a doorbell. You just need one when you're here, so I'm gonna have to get one anyways. But I would love. I think live with a Rickenbacker 12 string would be nuts for the song. It would be super fun live. So all right, everyone out here has one of those,
Yeah, of course they do. Tom Petty gave them to everybody.
Yeah, they're in every neighborhood. All right, we'll do this one last song, and then we'll come back with Ben for a few minutes, and we'll talk to you guys a little bit more before we shut her down.
Yeah, this one's The Coast.
There it is.
There it
All
is.
right. That's the
Wow.
record. Okay,
That's
so
it. Yeah. So thank you for being here, everyone. We got Ben back with us. We're just gonna, chat a bit, stick
Are
around.
you guys happy? You guys must be happy with this. It's great. I'm gonna hold it up
Yeah.
again.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is a
absolutely.
great record. Like, it's a great record. Another great record. But
Thank you.
I love, like, what I like about LA BROOD is you guys consistently refuse to be trapped in any kind of box. Like, I don't know what I'm getting record to record, and I feel that you're consistently pushing yourselves to grow as musicians, probably as friends too. Like you're forced to grow as friends when you're trapped in a band, but it's not the same thing every time, and I think that's the coolest thing you can say to people in your position is like, I don't know what I'm getting from record to record, and I those are my favorite bands. So
that's
are you
nice.
That's a
happy?
huge compliment, man. Well, no, thank you. Obviously, it's like, Canadian music is some of the best, right? Obviously, like sort of our peer group is amazing. Like we got people like Dan Romano put out 9 records he's put out this year, like, and they're all good. It's like insane. It's like, so it's really cool to be part of that sort of like Americana, Canadiana side of the music, like, and we've been around for a while. So it's awesome that people are still into it and supporting us as they have been for a long time. It's cool. Yeah. And we feel like the record feels fresh. It does to me. It feels new. It feels like energetic. So it's like, it's cool.
We're excited to see what happens. You know what I mean? Especially that we can't tour it for almost a year. It's just like, what happens next? But I mean, maybe we'll have new stuff out by the time we actually tour.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's now, it's don't sit back and just for everyone, all musicians, you do, if you have the luxury of being able to still create, that's not everyone's deal because you got to still make money somehow, right? Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of interesting stuff, like when everyone looks back on this time, like who knows what's going to come out of this time from everyone, all these bands, right, that are home or, you're not touring, no one is touring. So the amount of work that's going to come out is probably going to be amazing. There's going to be tons of shitty things, but then there'll be some good stuff too.
There'll be a lot of like third rate love in the time.
Absolutely.
Nonsense.
Yeah. But I mean, there will be a load of shit for sure. Yeah.
The thing that I miss, like you guys are dads, like I don't, like I miss live music. I don't really miss a lot of stuff. I don't necessarily need to be in a bar every night or like, but I miss hearing music played live. And with a band such as Elliott BROOD, where or like just an amazing live band, it's got to be. I know I already said this, but it must be weird to be on this kind of like album release cycle without the actual cycle. And I genuinely look forward to the day when I can see you guys and other people play live again. But it must be like a strange position to be in.
Well, I think Casey said it the other day. Didn't you say you're like, I just want to be in a van?
Yeah, and it's a ridiculous thing to say as a mid 40-year-old guy, but like I miss loading our amps, and I have a bad back, but I would love to lift up, because it's. Hi guys, are you coming in to say hi? You want to say hi? It's the end. George, say hi to the world.
Hi, Georgia.
Hi, Georgia.
This is the artist who drew all of the pictures that you saw.
I'm impressed. You should be the
really
new
like
band
your
art
artwork.
director, to be honest with you.
Yeah, those are friends. Okay, run along. We're just doing some work. This is work stuff. We'll talk later. Go eat your pizza. Anyways, pardon me. You know how it is. This is a dad band. That's how it goes. But yeah, no, it is. It's
No shame.
nothing will replace the like live thing. But in the meantime, all we can do is try to keep working so that when we can get back out there, there'll be even more stuff. Like it's important. And there's still people releasing music, and it's hard for everyone to. But people have been really, like I said earlier, people have been supportive of us for sure, and I'm sure many bands. Like something like Bandcamp doing what they're doing is a huge deal for especially indie artists, right? Where you can go and they're doing stuff like that to help people out. So, yeah.
Well, it's awesome. I mean, it is. I do feel like there's the opportunity to create is quite abundant right now, but it's just I guess finding new ways to reach an audience is hard. But I feel for guys in your position when you have like a great product. I don't mean a product, like a great record, but it's such a kind of an unprecedented moment in our contemporary musical history, and it's good. Like I'm just glad that you're putting something out because I think there's a lot of people waiting to hear music from their favorite bands.
Yeah, I agree.
I was going to say, I feel lucky, like as our band, we've never been, the mainstream of anything really, which is a good thing. And it feels like if we can stick around, our fans are still going to be there when we can get to tour again. That's kind of how it feels to me. Is just like if we can survive whatever this wave that's kind of happening right now.
Wait, I mean, you guys are such a ass kicking live band. Like that's the thing. Like, we'll be here. We'll be waiting.
Yeah.
But it must hurt. Like I also just purely from like an outsider, like the son of a music teacher, lapsed musician, but to not be playing live all the time or often must feel weird though.
Totally.
You know what I mean? To just not be a band the way you guys want to be a
so far
band.
away too for us, right? Like Mark and I convene and we actually do things, and then we just talk to Casey on these Zoom calls. It's strange. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that right now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, but I guess the thing, you just got to like do the best you can with what it is, which we're all doing with our children yelling in the background. And I think we'll come out of it. Like we've just announced today a huge European tour. It's online. They're selling tickets. And I hope that continues. And I hope it's a thing that happens. But, we're on the road as of late April, early March.
As long as you're not flying through the States, you'll be fine.
I got to get out of here first.
You got to get out of there. Guys, honestly, you've made a great record, though. I'm so happy that you let me be a small part of this release. And I hope it goes well, and I can't wait to see it play live again.
Well, thanks, man.
Yeah, man, we got a team. Obviously, we have Starfish as our managers who have been doing an insane job, and we're with Six Shooter again. We're coming home to our what I consider, and I think we all do, our family. They were instrumental. We've had everyone we worked with has been amazing over the years. Six Shooter is our home, and we're back, and it feels like really reliable and like energetic. They've always been champions of kind of everything we do. So we know that they're pushing for us and they're doing everything they can. So, and the people who like us, they're doing everything they can too. So their live shows will happen again, and we'll be one of the first ones out there when that does.
Totally.
So
before we go, I want to thank Guillermo for actually running the whole show behind the scenes, and Emily, Caitlin, everybody at Six Shooter, Helen, Shauna, thanks for having us. And then, like Casey said, our management team,
Starfish,
Sue, Jude, Amanda, thanks for being there for us. Nice work, Steve.
And
I like Steve's work.
Let's not get sick.
Yeah, I have to wear.
So we can wear masks and buddy up together.
Yeah.
So now you know that a listening party.
Last known photo. Yeah. Everybody grab a screenshot.
But I did, at least I did denim, all denim to go out. Right. So
yeah,
that's my last. Well, we both did.
Yeah, denimed up.
Yep, denim.
All right, we're good.
Okay.
2
I
hours.
look forward to actually seeing you guys in person and hanging out again.
Same. We gotta go. Yeah. We gotta ride the tunnel bus to Detroit.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, you guys, everyone on the
I'll
YouTube
bring
chat,
the acid.
You haven't heard off the screen. You heard some of that. We're going to
That's
relive some old times.
I'm never going to the States again anyway.
Yeah, St. Andrews State Theater, all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Guys, Elliott BROOD, people in the world, be safe, wear a mask, do all the things you're supposed to do. Don't worry about the tyrants. They're going to go away. That's my advice, I hope.
Thanks for spending time with us.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Cheers.
All right. Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you for inviting me
Thanks,
in.
team.
Love
Cheers.
you guys.
Guys.
Thank you.
See you around.